Hello, guys. Welcome to the tips for 2026 JAMB Mathematics, hosted by Prep Master. In today's session, I'm going to be giving you a complete prep guide for the topics, strategies, and also for your exam success. Let's start today's session. So, first of all, you must understand the JAMB Maths exam. How do you understand the JAMB Maths exam? You understand the JAMB Maths exam by knowing the structure of how questions are set. You also have to know that time management matters. One other thing you must also know is that coverage is wide, meaning that you need to cover a lot, but you have to know that there are some questions that are predictable. One other thing you have to know is that speed and accuracy matters a lot. How to use this guide I'm about to share with you. So the first thing you must know is that you have to master the core topics, the foundational topics, those must-know topics. You must know them. They are very important because those are the topics that are usually set in JAMB. Don't expect them to set and ask you questions, hard questions. They don't ask questions. JAMB is more simpler than WAEC, this I tell you. So the next thing you must know is then study. After you have mastered the core topics first, you then move to those SS3 topics. These SS3 topics are more of those advanced topics that are not very hard to understand and not very hard to read. So next thing you must also know is that you then add those selected additional maths topics I'm going to share with you today. And once you have these three, you can then start to practice this every single day. So the foundational must know maths topics, as I said earlier, are listed in front of you here. So the first topic we have is number base. Number base, which are those binary, hexadecimal types of numbers. So you must know this, especially the shortcuts used in finding the number base, a number in its base. You must know those shortcuts as well. You must also know BODMAS and arithmetic fractions. You can also know indices and logarithm. You must also know SORT. You must also know algebraic expressions. You must also know variation. These algebraic expressions, these algebraic expressions, SORT and indices are very important, especially logarithm as well. They are very important because there have been a pattern of them repeating this question almost every year, every two years. It's just random, but there has been a repeated pattern of them setting questions under these topics. You must also know your simple equations and inequalities. All these topics are very important, especially your subject of the formula. They will give you one hard subject of the formula, but there are ways that you could use that you can solve them very quickly, even without carrying your book and pen. Find out those ways and study them back to back. Subject of the formula might look so simple, but they are going to bring it out for your exam day. So let's move over to the additional, more foundational topics. So what problem is not a topic? The reason why I let it say is so that you know that your questions are not going to come simple, but rather they're going to come in word problem. So another topic you must know, which is part of this foundational topics, is ratio, rates, and proportion. Very important. This is also under simple interest too as well. But you must also know how, especially ratio and proportion, they usually set questions on that a lot. So you must know that topic too. Profit and loss, the questions will be simple, but don't underestimate any of these topics. Just because I say it's simple doesn't mean that you should underestimate them. And just because you know them doesn't mean that you know the questions they're going to set. So you must practice all these topics. Then we also have simple interest, and we have sequence and series of AP and GP, if that's what you call it in your own understanding as well. So as you can see, I also wrote the years from which the years. So all these questions I wrote the years when they started setting all these topics. You can see the ratio, rates, and proportion. They started setting it since 2022. They have been setting it since 2022. Same goes to simple interest and same goes AP and GP. And you can also see that percentage, profit and loss, and they have been setting questions on it since 2023. Also, if you go back here to, you also see the years. You can see that they've been setting all these foundational topics way back. And just to prove it to you, just open your JAMB Past question. There should be a page just at the beginning of the book. You just find the page where they will list out all the topics and the years that they set those topics. So you see that 2023 is there, 2003 is there, 2002 is there. Just check it and you find it there. Just to prove to you that it does prove that this information that you're seeing here is very valid. Now, for the SS3 maths topics, now these are those advanced topics you must really focus on because the system that they use to set that question is random, is unpredictable. But there are some topics that you know. So these are the core SS3 maths topics that I've listed out that I know that they are going to set one or two out of all this list, out of all the topics on this list. So we have trigonometry, which is basically your sine, cosine, um, your sine, cosine, and tangents. Some of you might say is sotatua or all those things. You must know them, very important. And under this topic, you'll be taught things like special angles. You'll be taught some formulas like sine square theta plus cos theta equals to 1. We taught all these short formulas. You must know them. They are very important if you're going to write JAMB, if you're going to write maths in your JAMB. So you must also know radians and degree. This radians and degree is not really, they don't usually set it like that, but you must expect it. Don't underestimate it. They might set it in your own and they might not set it in your friend's own. So you must also, yes, circles are really important. Circle theorems, very important. It's also one of the core topics they used to set under the advanced topics under mathematics. Also mensuration, your shapes. You must know your shapes, like the area of a circle is pi r squared, perimeter 2 pi r. You must also know the area of a square is rectangle, trapezium, parallelogram. You must know these things because yes, in your JAMB mathematics they will set questions on shapes and they will put the image of the shape there. You should also expect coordinate geometry. This is also very important. So this is just that your y equals to mx plus c. You must know it. Now, vectors and transformations. You just need to know the basics of this. You don't need to know too much about it. So what's next? The additional math topics useful for JAMB. Now, these are an extension of the SS3 math topics. So you must know those trigonometry stuff I talked about earlier, which are those those formulas, those special angles under trigonometry, or like some other formulas. I'll just take a few. We have sine theta equals to 1 over, sec theta equals to 1 over sine theta, right? And then cosine theta equals to 1 over sine theta. Then we have cot theta equals to 1 over tan theta. Then we have sec theta equals to 1 over cos theta. You must know all these. They are very important. One or two questions might come out from it. Don't forget, it is a computer that is going to set your questions for you, and it's just going to pick random questions out of their inventory of questions that they have been setting, even the new ones that they have put. You just pick it randomly. So you should not just say that one topic is not important. All topics are important. Yes, in mathematics you should have been taught the basics of differentiation and integration. You must know the basics. You must know, it's not necessary to go too far, but if your core topics is further maths, definitely if you're science or engineering, let me say engineering, you must know at least, it must be an intermediate in at least these two topics here. And generally, you must know your inequalities and your modulus. So what is next? Yeah, here is the reading strategy. So in your preparation, I advise you to read your questions carefully. Don't just do because I'm preparing, I need to be sharp and active. No, read your questions carefully. Underline key numbers. Remember, it's your preparation. Nobody's watching, nobody's judging you. So do as you like, but make sure you're preparing, not just studying or playing around. Preparing. So next on the list, we have estimate before solving, meaning that you must be able to have a certain degree of knowledge to be able to predict ahead of maybe the answer or the way of solving it. That way you'll be able to like skip some minor steps. Like you don't need to show clearly all your workings. Like this will help your intuitiveness. This will help you to think more intuitively on how to solve the question even more faster. Like for me, I can skip if I was that smart, I could skip some steps when I'm calculating. Let's go to the next one. So show your workings clearly. When you're preparing, you must learn how to do this. It will help you to understand each level of your calculation step by step. Do is easy questions first, then return to the hard one later. Very important. Don't burn out on hard questions. If one is too hard, skip it and move to the next one. That's all for this slide. Now, common mistakes to avoid: skipping units. Because you know how to solve it doesn't mean that you should ignore the units. A common scenario: you can see 23 in the option and also see 23 meter per second square. That is the unit. Now, the way they arrange this question is very funny because they're going to put that 23 first and they'll put that 23 meter per second square, the 23 with the units, they'll put it at the end. So once you have solved it sharp and you're looking for the answer, the person you just pick is 23 and you just move to the next one. Now, you're going to fail that question. Obviously, you're going to fail it because you didn't pick the one with the right units. Now, 23 does not have any units, but the 23 per meter per second square is the most accepted answer there. So make sure you don't skip your units. Not reading instructions. This goes to English. If you're, JAMB, the way JAMB works is that you answer one question at a time. And when it comes to English, the questions are shuffled. So in your question A, you can see pick the words that are opposite in meaning to the underlying word. While in question B, you can see pick the words that are opposite in meaning to that are similar in meaning to the underlying word. So you can see that number one is talking about opposites. Question number one is talking about opposites. Question number two is talking about similar in meaning. So this is why you must read the instruction before you answer the question. If you don't read the instruction, you might end up picking everything in that whole level as opposite in meaning when some of them were similar in meaning. So be wise and read your instructions before you answer the question. Number three, don't over rely on calculator. Especially this goes to those that are doing heavy calculations. Just because you know it doesn't mean that you must get the answer. If you notice that you're spending too much time on one question, skip it and move to the next one. Maybe mark the question on your book. But normally there will be a section below where they'll be able to highlight those questions that you have not answered. Like the ones you have not answered will be painted red, the ones you have answered will be painted green. Next, leaving blanks. You must know that leaving blank questions sometimes is wise and sometimes is not advised. The time when it's not advised is when you're leaving too many blank questions. But the time where it's most useful is when you don't know the answer to that question or you cannot get it as fast as possible. So you just want to quickly move to the next one. So I advise you to only leave the question blank if you don't know the answer. But if you notice a pattern of you repeating questions without answering them, then you must know that you might not actually have time to go back to them later. So try your best to not leave too many questions blank. Now, not checking your answers. So, this is not really an issue because everything is time-based. But what I advise you is that you should try to at least spare 5 minutes. Spare 5 minutes out of your time. So try to answer your questions to leave 5 minutes left so that you can be able to check your answers. Next, we have poor time distribution. Poor time distribution in the sense that you should be able to use the same time to answer every question. Like you can use, I think the average time for answering questions in JAMB is 20 to 30 minutes. So 20 to 30 seconds. So you must be very quick when you're answering your questions. You must be a very quick solver or reader. So let's move to the next slide. How to study effectively for JAMB. The first advice, the first on the list, we have create a flexible timetable. Why I highlighted this is because you need to, when I mean create a flexible study timetable, I mean that you should create a timetable that you're most comfortable with. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's not bad if you read it's not bad if you read 2 hours a day or 4 hours a day. It does not hard if you only read 1 or 2 subjects a day. It's not bad. It's not the worst case scenario. But I'll tell you, read every day. Just create a timetable that is suitable for you, that works for you, and a timetable that you're comfortable with, not one that will make it burn out or just lose yourself in studying. So read at least 1 to 4 hours a day. If you read 2 hours, I think 2 hours should be the minimum. Maybe 4 hours should be the maximum. But if you can do more than 4 hours, it is fine. It is absolutely fine. That's why I said it depends on your strength and your schedule. Practice past questions regularly. not just reading notes. Very important. Let me read the second part so that you understand this point well. So solve every question under each topic you study. Very important. So if you solve topic A, make sure you go to your past question and search for all the questions under topic A and answer them. This way you understand how questions are being set. As I said in the beginning, you need to understand how questions are being set. So if you use these two strategies here, this practice past questions regularly and solving questions under a topic, you'll be able to understand the nature of how they set questions. Now, practice past questions with timing. Don't worry, in the next slide, I'll give you some websites you can use to emulate exam environment and emulate to practice with time, basically. I'll give you some websites you can use to practice like as if you're actually in the exam hall. So next, draw out your full syllabus scheme and mark out each topic you complete. This is very important as it will help you to know where you are in your syllabus and your scheme. Next, review all your mistakes. Very important, and try the questions again. Now, reviewing all your mistakes is very important because if by any chance you stumble upon that question you refuse to review in the exam, that will really become a problem because you might have forgotten the solution. Don't just check the answer at the back and say, oh, I failed it, then skip it. No. Once you see that you failed it at the back, once you check the answer at the back and you see that you failed it, go and find a solution that works for you, a solution that makes you understand where you made your mistakes. So that is all for this slide. Here are the recommended JAMB practice websites listed below. So the first badge are the recommended ones. So I advise you focus more on these recommended ones because these ones have existed for years and many students have used it in their preparation. So the first we have myschool.ng. Second we have myschoolngr.com, quizbot.com. This one is more of like an international quiz application. You can find different types of quizzes, NECO, JAMB, not even just West African examinations. You can find different types of tests, exam, quizzes, and all those stuff. But on note, disclaimer, the quizzes here, not all quizzes under this quizbot are free and public. Yeah. So we also have jamcbt.ayajis.com. There's also an alternative. If none of these recommended ones suit you, you can go for this one too. It's very good too. Don't just think that because I listed it below, it's not useful. So you can use it as well. It's very useful. All these are very, 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 very much advisable to use. So maybe every Saturdays you can practice it. Saturdays and Sundays you can practice it with this. Practice what you have learned for the week with these applications. They are very, very helpful, and I've used them before during my own time, and I found them very, very useful. So thank you for sticking around to the end. I'll be sharing this slide on my channel. You can reach out to this number below here. Let me say it out. So that is 2+234 81 87760. So you can reach out to that number if you need this slide. Although I'll be sharing it to my channel already, my WhatsApp channel. Thank you for sticking around. Your presence really meant a lot to me. So if you need any more updates or any more info about your JAMB or whatever examination you're preparing for, we have it all. We have guidance on it, whether WAEC, NECO, or POSITME, or maybe your university exams because you covered. Just chat us up and we'll give you information about it. Thank you. Prep Master and his community, Prep Master and Prep Master Academy says thank you.